Hello my dear learners, welcome to my channel. In this video series, we are learning the Java programming language with practical demonstration. In the previous video, we learned about the class, object, instance variable and a method. So I recommend to you that please watch my previous video. Now in this video, we will discuss the following concept practically with a real life example. First, the method with return value. Second, a setter method that will use to initialize the value of the object dynamically. Third, this keyword. It is used to set the value of object by calling a method using this keyword. Four, a constructor, and fifth, the constructor overloading. So that all the topics we will cover in this video practically with real life example. So let's start the session. So first of all, I am opening the file that we have discussed in the previous video, right? It was the student demo 2. In this program, we have created a class name as a student, object name as a Ram and Lakshman, and then we have created a method name as a calculate average, right? So this calculate average method will be called by a particular object, and the object is of the particular class, and the class has an instance variable, right? So this calculate average method will used to calculate the average of the particular object. Say for example, here we have created name class name is a student, and this is the instance variable that we have declared in the class, and this is the calculate average method, and the return type of average calculate average method is a void now. So what will be our next program is, our next program is that will return the value from this method, right? So what we need to do is, now we want to do that, we want to return the average value from the method, right? And then we will print that returned value into the main method. So our third program will be on the basis of the class method with return value. So that method that we have declared in this class, that will return the value from the method, and then we will print that average in the public static void main, because the value is returned from the class method, and that will return to the particular number of line from we have the call the function, right? Call the method. So here we have created two objects. Say for example, name as a Ram and Lakshman. So in the line number 21, we have called the average method for the Ram object, and on the line number 29, we have called the method for the Lakshman object. So these both object is of the class student, and the calculate average method, it is just a class method, as we can say it is a method of the particular class. So the class has the properties and a method, right? So in our example, student demo 2 is our main class. Here we have created an object name as Ram and a Lakshman. So and then we have assigned the value to the property of the object over here. Say for example, Ram Kapoor, total marks equal to 500 and total subject equal to 6. Same like that we have done for the Lakshman object also on the line number 25, 26 and 27. S name equal to Lakshman Kapoor, Lakshman dot total marks equal to 450 and Lakshman dot total subject equal to 6, and then we have printed it. So this is the way to assign. This is what we have created a name as a Lakshman, and we have assigned the value to the particular property of the object. So Lakshman is the object. Object has the property name as S name, total marks and total subject, and we have assigned the value to the particular property of the object. So this is how we can assign the value to the particular property of the object, and the object is of the particular class. So this is what we have done from the previous program also, and then we have printed the value of the particular object with the particular property, and then we called a calculate average method using our object. Say for example ram dot calculate average. That calculate average method will call by the object name as a ram. So if you have any method in the class, over here the Lakshman is an object, right? Object of the student class, and the calculate average method we have called using the Lakshman object. So when you call a method of the particular class, that will access the property of the object because you have called that method by the object. So here I am just opening another file in the student demo. Here we have created a 4 instance variable, 2 object, and assign the value to the object, and then we have printed the all the properties and the average value of the both object, right? So this was the student demo 2. Here we have created a method to print the average value. So now what I am doing is, this was just a demonstration for the class and object. So I am just giving you the points over here. This was the program that we have discussed, was the class with instance variable and no return method. So this student demo 2 class, student demo 2 file has the class name as a student and the instance variable and the object and the method, but that method is not returning the value. What this method is doing over here, it is just calculate the average and printing over there. So calculate average is a method of the class, and it is, we have just printed the average value into the particular method. So I am just copying the code and paste it in the new file. So I am creating another file that will class with instance variable and return a value from the method. So now what we will do, we will return the value from this method, and what we need to return, we need to return an average value, and average is the variable of the double type. So here the return type of the particular method will be double over there, because what we have created a variable as a name as a average, and that calculate average method will return the average value. So currently I have written void over there. It means the calculate average method do not return any value. But if you want to return the value from the method, you need to change the return type of the method. Here average is a double type variable. So I am just commenting that line, and what I am writing is return AVG, means we want to return that average value from the particular method of the class. So what we need to do is, now we have returned that value from the method, right? But the average value is of the average variable is of the double type. So and calculate average, we need to change the void to double. So it means that the calculate average will return the double type value. My dear friend, it is very important to understand this concept. This calculate average method will return the double value. That's why we have written double calculate average. And then we have find out the average, and then we have returned the particular average from the class method. So now that is done. We have created a method that will return the value that will be double type. But how to use that? That is another point. Say for example, here I am writing double AVG equal to ram dot calculate average. So that average will return to the particular AVG variable at line number 22. Right? In the line number 22, what I have written double AVG equal to ram dot calculate average. So that calculate average method will call by the object, and that method is returning the value to the particular line. Say for example line number 22, that returning value is stored in the variable name as AVG. So you can print out also there. Say for example, if you want to print that variable AVG, so I have just return system.out.println average equal to avg. So here we have removed that particular printing statement from the method, and it will be the student demo 3. The file name is student demo 3.java. I am saving the file. Okay, now I just want to compile the file. I am opening the cmd and I am moving to the particular location where my Java file is saved. I am just compiling using Java C student demo 3.java, student demo 3.java. It is compiled successfully. Now I am just running the file using Java student demo 3. So as you can see in the output, right, the average value we got the average value in the output, but the value is not printing from the method. Value is printing from the main method from the main class, right? So we have created a method name as a calculate average, and we have called it, and then it is returning the value to the particular object. So I am just changing, say for example, RAM. I just want to concatenate the value. Say for example, I am just printing everything. RAM dot s name plus I am concatenating with plus operator, and has the average of, say for example, I am writing. So the s name is a property of the object. So here I am just compiling and running again. We can see in the output Ram Kapoor average equal to 83.0, right? But we have returning the value from the method, and we have printed the value in the output. As here also I am doing the same value for the Lakshman. Here also we have created object name as Lakshman. I am just changing the line of code from here also we need to call the calculate average method for the Lakshman. So what I need to do is, here we have written Ram to the Lakshman, which we need to change it. Okay, Lakshman dot s name plus Lakshman dot calculate average. You can call this method via this way also, Lakshman dot calculate average, right? So in the line number 22 we have written different ways, and in the line number 32 we have written in the different ways, but the output of these will be the same, because in the line number 21 we received the value from the method and stored in the variable. What we are doing in the line number 30, we are directly printing the value that are returning from the method. So I am just compiling the file now. Say for example, Java C student demo 3.java. Now I am running the file. As you can see in the output, we got the value for the both object, right? We have the average value for the both object now. So this was just a demonstration for how to return the value from the class method. And if the value is returning, you can take it via two ways. You can store the value to the variable, and other ways you can directly call a method in the system.out.println, so that returning value is printed with the particular string. So that is why we are getting the same output for the both object, but the way of coding is different for the both object, Ram dot average and Lakshman dot average. So it is an instance variable, and we have returned the value with the class method. So I hope you learn these concept, like you can have a method in the class, and that method will return the value, and that returned value we can store in the variable. Here is the property of the value we have defined over there. Property for the Ram and Lakshman, as name equal to Lakshman Kapoor, total marks equal to 405 and total subject equal to 6. And from here we have assigned the value to the both object, and then we have called the particular method name as average, calculate average, and this method is returning the value. And when this value is returned, we can handle these by two ways. One, you can store a returned value to the variable, and another, you can directly put this method into the println, so that value is returned and printing over there directly. You do not want to store the value to the variable. At that time, this method on line number 30 you can use. So you can see we have called here we have written the directly assigning the value to the variable, calculate and assign. Here we have called a method. That method is printing the value of printing the average value of the particular object, and here what we have done, we have returning that value. We have a calculate average method. I am just copying the file and creating another file, student demo 3.java now, 4.java, say for example. Now I just want to give you the demonstration of the object dynamically via method. So we need to initialize that value dynamically. I am just compiling the file first, student demo 4.java. Compile, and now I am running the file Java student demo 4, right? So it is the same output. Here I need to change. Okay, just compile it again, and I just running the file Java student demo 4. Okay, as you can see in the output, we have the same method to calculate average and print it and return it. Now I just want to assign that value dynamically, so I am creating another method named as a set student, and the return type of the set student method is a void, right? So this method will assign the value to the particular object, that will initialize the value to the object. This method will use to initialize the value of the object dynamically, because here what we are doing is we can we can create a parameter to the particular method, that I will declare for the student name, total mark, and total subject, and the s name is a string, total marks is integer, and total subject is also an integer variable. So I am just writing a parameter over there, string name comma integer marks comma integer subject. So here I have created a method name as a set student, and in that method this method has the three parameter, three argument, string name, integer marks, and integer subject. So when this method is called, we need to send the value to the particular method. Like when I need to call the set student method, I need to put the argument in the calling function. So that s name equal to and total marks equal to and total subject equal to, this line will be removed from here, because these all the values are we are setting here as a statically. Now we want to set that value to the particular object via dynamically. So what I will write over here is, here I need to assign the value. Say for example, s name equal to name. So name is the argument of the method, and s name is the instance variable of the class. Same as s name is the instance variable of the class and name is the argument of the method. Same for that, total marks equal to, I will write marks. So here semicolon. So here total subject equal to subject. So subject is a argument variable, and the total subject is the instance variable of the class. I hope you are understanding the concept. When this method is called, we need to pass three arguments to the method, and that argument will be used to initialize the instance variable of the class. So this is what we have done with the set student method. This method is used to initialize the value of the object dynamically. So when this method is called, right, we need to provide three value as an argument. First value will be string, second value will be integer, and third value will be also integer. So this line of code removed from here, because we are initializing that value dynamically via the method, and the method name is set student. So that static value that we have assigned I removed that line of code, and now I will write ram dot set student. So this method, I have called this method, right? And I need to pass three value over there. First value will be string. Say for example, here I am writing Ram Kapoor. So this is our first argument, comma. Now I just need to provide the integer value for the marks. Say for example 400, and third argument is for the subject. We have total 5 subjects. Say for example. So this is what we need to do for the Lakshman also. Lakshman dot set student. First argument as a string, say for example Lakshman Kapoor, comma, now second argument mark 350, and third argument subject 5. Now I am just providing semicolon over there. Now what is the way that we can call the method set student via 3 parameter, right? So these 3 parameter is assigned to the particular argument available in the method. So now I just want to compile the file java c student demo 4.java, and now I am just running the file java student demo 4. Now you can see in the output, this is the same output we are getting as compared to the previous program, but the way of coding is different. We have created a method for the initialize the value of the object dynamically, and we have created a method to calculate average, and that is returning the value. So this is the set student method with 3 parameter, and this method is used to initialize the value of the object dynamically. Because if you have created number of objects, you can just call a method, and that method will initialize the value to the particular object. Say for example, over here we have created a Ram. So Ram is object of the student class. We call the method set student with 3 parameter Ram Kapoor 405. So that object is initialized by this particular value on line number 23. I just called a method with the value. So that value goes into the particular parameter for a particular argument name, and this argument then is initialized in the instance variable, because we have written s name equal to name, total marks equal to marks, and total subject equal to subject. So this method is used to initialize the value of object dynamically, right? So because dynamically, why dynamically? Because you can call this method via any object. So I just need to change the title of over here is, it is used to initialize the value of the object dynamically via a method, or you can say by calling a method. So you have just created a method. This method is used to initialize the object, right? And you can call this method for the every object, any object, number of objects. So if you have 50 objects, right? So you can call this method for the each and every 50 object, and every time the value will be, you can provide the different value every time. So every object has the different value. You can initialize that value using the particular method. So this is what the usage of the method available in the Java. You can create a method to return a value, and you can create a method to assign the value to the particular object also. Right, so I am just copying the file, copying the line, and creating a new file. This is the student demo 5. I am giving the demonstration of the how to set the object dynamically via method with these keywords. So in this program, I will give you the demonstration of these keyword. These keyword is very most important part of the Java. So here the problem is that here I have instance variable name as s name, total marks, and total subject, and the set student method has the argument, has the parameter name as name, marks, and subject. But what if I just write s name over there, and total underscore marks over there, and total underscore subject over here? So now as you can see, the parameter name and the instance variable name both are same now. So at that time the set student method will call, and this value Ram Kapoor 405 will goes to the particular argument name. Ram Kapoor will goes to the S name. Say for example, and here we need to write S name over here. Say for example, name is not our argument. Our argument, what is the name of our argument? Is S name. So I need to write there. And what is the argument? Total marks. And what is the third argument? Total subject. So here now you can see in the code on line number 9, 10 and 11. Now the code is like that. S name equal to S name. Total marks equal to total marks. And total subject equal to total subject. So here is the problem, something like all the variable name are same. Now I am just compiling the file studentdemo5.java. I am just running the file java studentdemo5. So here you can see in the output it is divided by 0. Exception is over there because total we do not have assigned the value to the particular instance variable, and that variable total subject is initialized by the 0. Why? Because we do not have assigned it is not used to initialize the value to the object, because here are the error on line number 15. Total subject has the 0 value and total marks has the 0 value, because the instance variable is not initialized in this program. Why? Because the name is same over here, S name equal to S name. So Java is not able to bifurcate what are the instance variable and what are the parameter of the method. It is not, Java is not able to bifurcate these concepts, that which are the instance variable and which are the parameter argument variable, because here I have used S name and it is initialized by the S name. Total marks is initialized by the total marks, and total subject initialized by the total subject. So here Java is confused, my friends, and it is not able to initialize the value, because the value of the name of the instance variable and the name of the method argument both are same. That is why we got the exception, because total subject has the 0 value, default value 0, and total marks has the default value 0, because the value is not initialized. So it will initialize by the default value, and the default value of string will be null and the default value of integer will be 0. That is why we are getting the exception over here. Total marks we have the 0, divide by total subject have the 0. So 0 divided by 0, it is generating an exception. So I just need to write these dot s name, these dot total marks, and these dot total subject. So this keyword is very important over here. This keyword is referred to the particular object. Remember this line in your mind. Remember guys, this keyword is used to refer to the particular object, because now you can see the variable name are same, but what we have written, these dot s name. So these dot s name will refer to the instance variable, and then equal to s name. So after the equal to we have written the s name. That s name is from the particular argument. I am compiling the file. Now I am running the file student demo 5. Now as you can see in the output, we have the proper output now, right? So value of the object and average value of the Ram, value of the Lakshman and average value of the Lakshman. So here this keyword is very important over here. It will bifurcate what are the instance variable and what are the parameters we have provided from the method. So this keyword is used to refer to the current object, to the current class. So now I am just giving the title to that program. Say for example, set value of object dynamically, set value of object by calling a method with these keyword. You can say that also. I am just providing a title to the program so you can understand what are the program is. So in this program there are lot of concept are calling a method with this keyword. We have created a class. In that class we have 3 instance variable. In that class we have the 2 method, set student and calculate average. Set student will initialize the value to the particular object. calculate average will calculate the average and return to the particular value. So the return value you can do, like you can handle this situation like two ways. First you can store the value to the variable, and another is you can directly call this method into the println statement. So you can directly print it. So I am just copying the file, creating a new file. It is a student demo 6.java. In this demo, what I am going to demonstrate you, the initialize object via a constructor. Now in this program I will introduce a constructor to you guys. So what is constructor? Constructor is a special method which has the same name as the class name. Say for example, here we have called a set student method. So for the particular object we need to call the set student method with the particular value, and here we have called a constructor. So after new we have written the name of the class, and then we have written the round bracket over there, right? So this is the constructor. Whenever an object is created, a constructor is called. Keep this point in your mind. When any object is created with new keyword, then there will call a constructor. So what is constructor? First, constructor is a special method. Why special? Because it has the same name as the class name. In our example, suppose we have the student class. So I will create a method name as a student. So what will happen? The name of the class is student, and the method name is also will be the student. So that is what we are calling a constructor. Whenever any object is created, a constructor will be called. The constructor is used to construct the object. You can see, you can understand like this also. Constructor is used to construct the object. And how to construct? To construction you need to initialize the value. To construct the object you need to initialize the value, and for the initialization of the object we can call a constructor. So here we have created two objects named as Ram and Lakshman, right? So whenever this object is created, the constructor will be called, and the constructor is used to initialize. So as a student, class name is a student, I am creating a method name as a student, right? And remember guys, a constructor will not have any return type. So you just need to write the name of the class, and you just need to write the round bracket start and round bracket over, and then curly bracket start and curly bracket over. It is what we have created a constructor name as a student, because over here the name of the class and the name of the method are same. That's why it is called a constructor, and constructor is called when the object is created, and constructor is used to initialize the object. So what is the use of the constructor? Constructor is used to initialize the object. And if you are creating a default constructor, here I have given you the demonstration of the default constructor. So in the line number 8 I have defining a constructor, and so this constructor is called a default constructor. It will use to assign the same value in every object. If you are assigned the value over here in this constructor, it is assigned the same value to the every object. Suppose I am just printing over here system.out.println. The constructor is called, say for example, constructor called, saving the file. So when this object is created, say for example, when the Ram is created and Lakshman is created, at that time the student constructor will be called over there. So as you can see, now I am just saving the file. So these both object, when this object is created, the constructor is called. As you can see, as you can guess the output now. So whenever the constructor is called, these print statement will execute constructor called first. As you can see in the previous output, there are no any line for the constructor called. Now we have created a constructor, and then in this constructor we have written the printing statement. I am compiling the file javac student demo 6.java. Okay, invalid method declaration. So there is a mistake of the typing mistake, that S need to be capital, because our class name is a student as capital, right? So I am just compiling again. Compile successfully. Now running the file. student demo 6. As you can see in the output, constructor call is printed first. Why? Because whenever an object is created, a constructor is called and we have written a print statement in the constructor, right? So this print statement is I am just removing that constructor from here. So if I do not write the constructor, what will happen? It is assigned the default value to the object. Like if you have created a RAM object, so when you are creating an object, a constructor will be called automatically by the Java. It is called internally and it is assigned the default value to the object. Say for example, we have created a 3 instance variable over here. The string value is initialized with null and the integer value is initialized with 0 because it is the default value of the string and integer, right? So integer has the default value null, string has the default value null and integer has the default value 0. But if you write over here, I am just writing, we have just written system.ln, I am just removing the statement and what I will do, I will initialize the value of the object from the constructor. So that is what the main usage of the constructor. Constructor is used to initialize the object. Right? So as name equal to, say for example, I am writing Atmiya over there, semicolon, and total marks equal to, say for example, 450, semicolon, and total subject equal to 5. So now this value will remain the same. If you create 50 object, so every object has this value, Atmiya 450 and 5. Every object, if you create any object now, right, it will initialize this value to the every object because we have written the static value over here. Whenever any object is created, a constructor is called and in that constructor we have initialized the instance variable of the class. Say for example, S name equal to Atmiya, total marks equal to 450 and total subject equal to 5. So if you create 10 object, if you create a RAM object over here, the constructor will be called and that constructor is used to assign the value to the object, and then we have called the set student method also, right? So as you can see in our code, we have created a 3 method now, a constructor, a set student method and a calculate average. So what will happen over here? First the constructor will run, it is initialize the value to the instance variable, then we have called the set student method by the particular value. So I am just put it in the comment, I am just saving the file. Now you will see the output. The RAM object has the default value Atmiya 450 and 5 and then we have printed and then we have calculate average and then we have printed the average value for the RAM object. And here the object name is Lakshman, right? So when this object is created, a constructor is called, name as a student, and it is initialized with the same value Atmiya 450 and 5 and then we have printed the value and then average. So I am just compiling the file student demo 6.java and now running the file student demo 6. Now you can see in the output Atmiya 450 and 5 and Atmiya average is this and then Atmiya 450 and 5 and Atmiya average is this because this is the value, initialize the default value to the every object. If you want to do like that also, you can do that, right? Now I am just removing the comment over there. Now what will be the output? Can you guess the output? It is a very good concept now. Java. Now you can see in the output the value is different. The value is different and the average value is also different because we have removed that comment over there, right? So what I am doing is I am just creating another object name as Atmiya, student Atmiya equal to new student. So this object is created name as Atmiya and initialize with the default value for Atmiya 450 and 5. I am just copying the file and paste it over here, and now change the object name RAM to Atmiya, calculate average, s name. Okay. So now, as you can see in the code, we have three objects, Atmiya, Ram and Lakshman, right? And we have called a method calculate average. Okay, a variable avg is already defined in a method, line number 37. Okay. So this average variable is already defined. So I just need to remove that double over here, right? So now I'm just compiling the file. I'm just running the file now. So there's average variable. We need to I am just running the file. As you can see in the output, Atmiya 4505 average of Atmiya, then Ram Kapoor 4505 average of Ram. So this constructor is called every time whenever an object is created, and in the constructor we have initialized the value of the object. We have initialized the property of the object, and then we have called a method and printing the value. So whenever the RAM is created, the constructor is called for the RAM object, and all the value is assigned to the object, and then we have called the set student method. So that value is override for the particular object, right? So this is a very interesting to learn. In the Atmiya object, we do not have called set student. With the RAM object, we have called the set student method. So every time you call a method, you can call a constructor. Constructor is called whenever an object is created, and a constructor is used to assign the same value to the every object if you provide the static value in the constructor. So in this program we have provided the static value to the instance variable, and so that is why when an object is created, this constructor will be called, and this constructor will be initialized the same value for every object. Right, so here we have created a double average variable, and this average is also override the value. Say for example, on the line number 31 we have the average of Atmiya. On line number 37, that value is override by the RAM object. So now I am just changing the title over here. This program, I have given you the demonstration to initialize the object by calling a constructor. This is called a default constructor. Without parameter, it is called a default constructor. The default constructor assigns the same value in the every object. Like as I told you, if you created 5 objects, so every object has the same value, because we have assigned the same value in the constructor for the every object. I am just copying the code, creating a new file, student demo 7.java. Now just changing the class name student demo 7, and then what I am doing in this program now, I will give you the demonstration for the parameterized constructor, because there are the issue. If you create 50 objects, then this program will assign the same value to the every object. But what I want to do is I want to assign the different value to the different object. If you have the 50 object, so all the 50 objects will have the different value for the instance variable, for the particular property of the object. So for that I need to write the parameterized constructor. If you write the parameterized constructor, then the compiler will not add default constructor. Remember this point. If you provide the parameterized constructor, here I am creating a constructor with the parameters. Say for example, here I am writing string, say for example, s name, comma, integer, total marks, comma, integer, total subject. So I have written 3 parameters to the constructor, and now I am writing this.sname equal to sname semicolon. The same line of code will be there. This.total mark equal to total marks semicolon, here also semicolon, and for the total subject I will write these dot total subject equal to total subject, because we have used the these keyword also over there to initialize, to differentiate the instance variable and the parameter of the method. So here this is the default constructor and parameterized constructor also. I have given the demonstration to you guys for the default constructor and a parameterized constructor also, right? If you write the parameterized constructor, then the compiler will not add the default constructor. But if you have written the default constructor, then if you call without parameter, the default constructor will be called, and if you call the constructor with parameter, so parameterized constructor will be called. Here is the default, it is the default constructor for the student class, and this is the parameterized constructor for the student class. This will take the parameter that is assigned by the user, and then the value is initialized to the particular property of the object. So this is the lines, this is the default constructor and a parameterized constructor. So by default constructor is added to the class, that is the default constructor. But here in our program we have written the default constructor in the line of code, line number 8 to 12 is the default constructor. So whenever a object is created, a constructor is called, here the student constructor called Miko, it means that it is a default constructor called over here. I am just commenting the line for the set student, and the name of the object is Atmiya, and the constructor called as a student. So this constructor will be called and assign the default value to the user. This is the default value assigned. You can put this value to the parameterized constructor also. So I am just copying this and paste it in the parameter. So for the Atmi object we have called the default constructor, and for the Ram and Lakshman object we have called the parameterized constructor with the particular value. Say for example, for the Ram object we have provided the value, say as a Ram Kapoor 405. As a for the Lakshman object we have provided the value name as a Lakshman Kapoor 350 and a 5. So this is what we have. I am just compiling the code now, Java C student demo 7.java, and now I am running the file Java student demo 7. You can see in the output Atmiya 450 and 5. This is the default constructor called, and then Ram Kapoor 405. It is a parameterized constructor called, and then Lakshman Kapoor 350 and 5. It is also a parameterized constructor called, and we have printed the average of the every object. So this is the default constructor is added to the class, that is a default constructor. By default a constructor will be added. If you do not write default constructor, Java will add the default constructor by itself. Keep this point in your mind. If you do not write default constructor, Java will add the default constructor to the class, and this is what we are calling the default constructor, right? I hope you are understanding. What I mean to say is, by default constructor is added to the class. It is called a default constructor. But in our program we have written the default constructor, so Java will not add the default constructor by itself because we have written in our code. And if you write the parameterized constructor, then the compiler will also not add the default constructor by itself. The Java will not add the default constructor if you have written the parameterized constructor, right? So here I have just set student after the println statement, and then this value will be goes to the particular constructor, and the value will be set, and then we have print the value, we have print the average for the Lakshman object, and then we change the value of the object. Say for example, I am just changing here Bharat Kapoor a 250 and a 5. So using the set student method, you can change the value of the object. This is what the main purpose of the set student method is. If you have created an object, this object is initialized by the particular value, and now you want to change the value of the object. At that time, this setter method will be used. In our example, our setter method is a set student. The name of the method is set student. So that setter method will use to update the value of the object. Here you can say Bharat Kapoor and the value and the average value of the Bharat Kapoor. So in the line number 47, we have created a Lakshman with the value. We have created an object with the particular value. Then we have printed it, right? So since they have set a student method, now it is used to update the value of the object. So the constructor is used to initialize the value, and the setter method will use to update the value of the object. I hope you are understanding this very well, because it is a very interesting and important topic of the Java. The constructor, the default constructor, the parameterized constructor, the setter method, these keyword, and the method, it is returning the value. So there are lot of concepts are covered in this program. So here I am changing the title over here. What is this program is? This program is for the parameterized constructor. The demonstration of this program is for the parameterized constructor. I am writing the point to remember over here. By default, the default constructor is added to the class that is default constructor. So by default, a default constructor is added to the class. Whenever an object is created, the constructor will be called. If you write the parameterized constructor, then the compiler of Java will not add default constructor by itself. It is a very important and interesting topic to learn, right? So I hope you are learning this very well and you are understanding it very well. It is a default constructor and parameterized constructor. Now I am just giving you another point. Say for example, a constructor overloading. It is what we can call a constructor overloading also, because we have a default constructor and then we have written the parameterized constructor. So the concept of constructor overloading is also covered over here in this program. You can say a constructor overloading also. What is another point is, you can change the value of the object. I told you can change the value of the object by this program. From the set student method, you can change the value to the object, and this method name can be anything, right? You can create any name, you can create any method with the any name. It is just a simple, you can create a method that will change the value of the object. So in this program we have covered lot of things. Right, say for example constructor overloading, then parameterized constructor, these keyword, method, object, instance variable, class, and a method that is returning a value. So this is what we have covered, object oriented concept. Now I am creating another file to give you the demonstration for the different concept. Now I am going to give you the demonstration for the private instance variable. I hope you know what is the instance variable. I am just creating another file. Say for example, I am creating a file name as employee demo employee1.java. You can do like that also. Employee1.java, employee demo1.java, and enter, copying the file name because I want to create a same class. Now I am just creating a class name as a employee. So class is a virtual entity, as we have discussed in the previous video. This class has the instance variable name as emp number. Say for example, the type of EMP number is an integer. I am creating another instance variable, a string, say for example employee name, EMP name, semicolon, and then I am creating another instance variable as an integer salary. So employee has the employee number, employee name, and employee salary. This is also a real life example. I am just creating a class with the main method, public static void main, and here I just need to create an object of the employee class, employee E1 equal to new employee, and constructor is called. Now I will print the value first. Say for example it will be a default value. Now I am creating a constructor to initialize the value to the object. Say for example employee number equal to 101 semicolon, employee name equal to, say for example let's say Ram semicolon, and employee salary equal to, say for example 50,000, right? So whenever a constructor is called, this is the default value will be initialized to the object. So this is the default value as you can see, and now I am printing over here, say for example system.out.println, system.out.println, I am accessing the instance variable of the object. I am accessing the property of the object over here. Say for example, I can access this instance, the property of the object via the object name, right? Say for example, here I will write E1 dot employee number, employee name first, will concatenate with the string, and then here I will write E1 dot EMP number and will concatenate with the plus operator and with a string, and here I will write E1 dot EMP salary. So here I have accessed the instance variable of the class, you can say a property of the object also. So I am just compiling the file javac employee demo1.java, compile successfully. Now I am running the file java employee demo1. Now you can see in the output the value of object is printing. So now what I need to do is I just need to change the value of the object. So you can do like this, e1.emp number equal to 102 semicolon. Then I just want to change the name also, e1.emp name equal to, say for example Lakshman, and then e1.salary equal to, say for example 60,000, right? So what I have done over here is I have changed the value of the object by assigning the default value from the main class. So if you do not want to access the variable and change the value of the object to the user, you need to put this instance variable as a private instance variable. So if we have the three instance variable, EMP number, EMP name, and EMP salary. If you create this instance variable as a private, so the user cannot access this private member via the object. Say for example, here what I have created an object name as E1 and EMP number, I am changing the value. So I am compiling the file, I am running the file. Now you can see in the output. Okay, so we do not have printed the value, right? So that value is, I am just copying the line and paste it over here to print the value after the assigning of the new value. Now you can see in the output the value of the employee object E1 is changed now. Before it is a Ram and after changing it is a Lakshman now. So E1 is only one object, but in the output we are getting two names. Before assigning the new value and after assigning the new value. If you have an object, so you can access the property, you can access the variable of the class via the object, and you can change any value to the particular object. But this should not be done, right? This should not be happen, because every instance variable should not be changed by the object. So in this example that is done, but this is not the proper way to secure your data, right? If you create a variable, if you create an instance variable as a private, then that private instance variable will be secure, because you can access that private variable, you cannot access that private variable via the object. Right? So if anyone has the object, anyone has your object, and that person is changing the value because this person has the object, but this should not be done. There is need for the security, because every value the user the user should not change every value of the object. So for that you need to create the instance variable private. So here employee number, employee name and employee salary is public right now. That is why we can change the value of the instance variable via the object name. Say for example e1.emp number equal to 103. But what I will do is, now I will make this variable to the private now. If I create a variable, instance variable private, then this variable cannot be changed by the user. It is a simple instance variable, you can say, that we have discussed in the previous program also, and these all are the instance variable, right? And what I am doing is I am making this variable as a private. Now I am just saving the file, because this variable is private now, and the employee name is also private, and employee salary is also a private instance variable. So employee number is private, printed the value, that is okay. But when we want to change the value, let me just compile the file. It is giving me the error. You can say employee name has a private access in employee. See over here, my dear. Employee name has a private access in employee. The Java is telling us that the private variable cannot be accessed by the object. Cannot be accessed, right? In the line number 16, we have the error, because emp name is a private variable and it cannot be accessed by the object. Why? Because the instance variable is private now. If you want to print the value of the object, but the property of the object is private, you cannot print also, and you cannot change the value of the property for the object. So here what I am doing is, I am just creating a method to set the value. Set, for example, set ename. It is a parameterized method with a string ename. Here I will write this dot employee name. Here I will write the employee name. This dot employee name equal to employee name. So this method is used to set the employee name only, right? So what this method will use, the set ename method will use to set the value to the particular object, but for the name only, not for the number and salary. So I am just copying the line of code and paste it in the new file, and this is the employee demo 2. So I am just saving the file employee demo 2.java. Okay. So now what we have done, we have created a method name as a set employee. I am just removing that line of code, and in that program we are allowing the user to change the value of the object or not, because we have created a private variable. That private variable cannot be accessed by the object. So in here employee demo 2, what we have done, we have created a private variable, and I am just removing the println statement, because all the member is private now. So this is the default value will be assigned to the every object. Whenever any object is created, this value will be assigned. Now I am just creating another method name as a, say for example, This method will be void show employee. Say for example, I am creating a method name as a show employee, and over here I will write system.out.println employee number. I am concatenating with plus operator with a string plus employee name, and then I will concatenate with a string also, and then I will write employee salary, right? So now we have two method, and a constructor is used to set the default value to the object. Here we have created an object name as E1. Now I am just calling the method set E name, right? And I will provide the value over here. Say for example, Lakshman, and then what I will do is I will just call a method E1 dot show employee. So I am saving the file now. We have created an object name as E1, and we have called a method name as a set ename and show employee. So show employee method will show you the value of the instance variable, and I am calling this method after setting the new name. So now I am just compiling the file javac employee demo2.java and running the file employee demo2. Here we are getting the value name as a Ram and Lakshman, because we set the value for the particular object e1 dot set e name. So before setting the value we have the Ram, and after setting the value we have the Lakshman as a name. Right? So here the first employee demo was for the private instance variable. It is used to not let the user to change the value. Right? If you create a private variable, then the user cannot change the value of the variable via object. And now in this program employee demo 2, what we have done, we have a set method to set the value to the object, because instance variable is private now, so you can change the value of the object via the method. So user will have the method now to change the value. Here we have initialized the default value to the object, and then whenever we are calling a constructor, the default value will be initialized in the every object, and then we have changed it. Even is an object, so constructor is called every time when the object is created with the default value. Here I will write employee. Say for example, it is a parameterized constructor, integer employee number, string employee name, comma, integer employee salary, okay, employee name and employee salary, okay. So this parameterized constructor is also used to assign the dynamic value to the user. I will writing this.emp number equal to emp number, this.emp name equal to emp name, and then this.salary equal to employee salary. So in this program we have a default constructor, we have parameterized constructor, a set method, and a display method also. So here I will write the default constructor will be called over here if you create an object, but I will write the parameter for the value for the parameter 100, say for example Hanuman, and then comma salary. Oh, okay, the argument of the parameter will be, say for example 60,000, right? So whenever this even object is created, it is created with this value 101 Hanuman and 6000, and then we are calling a show employee, and then we change the value from Hanuman to Lakshman, and then we have printed the value using this show method. If you remove that line and copy it over here, I am creating another object, say for example E2, 2 now. Here I will change the name, say for example Sita, with the salary, particular salary, right? And I will show the data using the show employee method. And now I am just compiling the file javac employee demo2.java. So here I need to write the E2 over there, yes. So I am just compiling the file and running the file java employee demo2. You can see in the output now 101 Hanuman and 60,000, 101 Sita 60,000, right? Because we have provided the 101 for both objects. So what this is a parameterized constructor and this is a default constructor. I am writing just a short form over here. A default constructor and a parameterized constructor. PC means a parameterized constructor. DC means a default constructor. So you can do by these also, right? And set ename method is used to set the value of the parameter for the particular object. And the show employee method is used to provide the output in the console. Employee number, employee name and employee salary. So as you can see in the code, we have created a class with instance variable. We have the default constructor, we have the parameterized constructor, we have the setter method and a show method also. And then we have created two objects, E1 and E2 with the different value. So that's all from my side in this video. In the next video, we will learn what are the members of the class. So the next video is also very important and interesting to understand. I recommend that please don't miss my next video. Thank you guys.